He's hooking. He's hooking. Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Shalom. I'm going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukah Kadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the 144,000 and the 130 let of the nation of Israel. I'm your brother Kabash from the GMS Atlanta camp, and I'm here with the whole fair to final lesson through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukah Kadash. And in this lesson, I'm going to get into the clip I just showed with Apollo Creed and Rocky. In that scene, Apollo Creed was telling Rocky, it ain't no tomorrow. It ain't no tomorrow. And that's how we got to look at it. Because our works do follow us. Even if we die, our works follow us. Like it says in scriptures, thou shalt not prevent them that are asleep, for their words do follow them. Matter of fact, I got a precept to that. Revelation chapter 14, verse 13, and it reads, "And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them." So our works follow us, man. Even if we die, we become martyrs, like our forefathers was martyrs. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 15. "For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep." Verse 16, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel." So the Lord is coming down from heaven, and he's going to crack the sky of the earth, and all eyes shall see him. And the Lord is going to call the dead to rise. And it says, "And with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first." Verse 17, "Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words." And that's what our apostles, elders, and brothers are doing. Now back in Baruch chapter 4, I'm going to get into verse 28, where it goes into how we should seek the Lord 10 times more, because us doing these videos, lessons, going out to the highways and byways and constantly meditating on the Lord's word, this is what the scripture is talking about. Verse 28 says, "For as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so being returned, seek him 10 times more." And we returning after the 3 days and a half, which is a part of that prophecy in Revelation chapter 11. It goes into the 3 days and a half, we should stand upon our feet, and all the nations, especially those that had us in captivity, primarily Esau, Edom, so-called white man, he's going to be amazed at our boldness. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 goes to that too. Those that had us in derision should be like, these are the sons of God? Yeah, because right now we're in a low state. And then that's like the blindfold that Satan loves to push, like, oh, we only live once. Hell, you weren't in slavery before. Or you never was in the land of Israel. You can't even remember that far. How is y'all the people of the Lord, and those people in Israel now are there? Satan will hit you with all type of BS. But the Lord said in Romans chapter 8, the Spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the people of the Lord. And the spirit of the Israelites does fit us so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel. That's on the 12 tribe chart sign that we post on the highways and byways or sometimes on these videos. And like I mentioned, at 3 days and a half, going into Revelations chapter 11, I think around the 11th verse, it goes into that. The spirit of life entered into us, and we stood upon our feet, and fear fell upon them that saw us. That's happening now. Right here in Baruch chapter 4, verse 28, for as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so being returned, we returning through the Spirit, seek him 10 times more. Now I have this other precept too. This is the book of Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Verse 2, before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a shadow, because that decree is talking about judgment day. When the Lord comes as that archangel and with that loud trumpet, he's not only coming in that manner, but he's also coming with those chariots that's going to shoot laser beams on you 2/3 of Israel and you other heathen nations, but they're going to do it in a particular number. They're not going to destroy all of mankind on the earth, because a lot of slaves is going to be preserved to rebuild the kingdom of heaven. And it says, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. And that's what we're doing. We're seeking the Lord before the Lord comes back and judge this earth. Verse 3, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye should be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Yeah, so the Lord's anger is the judgment day, which the Lord is angry with the wicked every day. But more so on judgment day, this is what these scriptures is talking about. A lot of you jakes, you getting judged before judgment day. The Lord sending out the angels to kill you jakes out there. Whether you a young man or young woman, an elderly man and woman, or a young child, baby, the Lord is causing these angels to make the hit because y'all ain't turning back to the Lord. And also from your past sins. The Lord said he was going to have mercy on who he would have mercy, and that's of the hopefully elect. John chapter 3, verse 16, which a lot of people like to quote, that whosoever that the Lord is talking about is of you 12 tribes of Israel. No other nation is going to be delivered because the Lord ain't make no covenant with these other nations, point blank, period. We are the Lord's people, and the Lord is raising us up out of that dead state, like it says in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, our dead bodies lie in the cities of the great city, in the streets of the great city. Meaning what? We didn't have this truth. We didn't have the Lord with us like in previous times, in the ancient world, in the time of, King David and King Solomon. Mainly when all of us was in the land of Israel, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. But the Lord scattered us. And the Lord said we would fall away, meaning we would discontinue from our heritage, meaning the Lord would have his back turned. The Lord hid himself for a while. But it was through prophecies that the Lord already put out there in scriptures that we must fulfill. Revelation chapter 11, verse 2 and 3 goes into that, how we should live out the prophecy and the testimony. But the Lord said in Revelation chapter 11, at the end of the testimony, Revelation chapter 11, verse 7, when the testimony should finish, then the beast shall send out of the bottomless pit, should make war against them. Certain prophecies of Revelation chapter 20 about Satan coming out of that dead state, which is the so-called white man during the time of Renaissance. That's when Esau came back into power. But from a particular date, 1619, or the 1600s, mainly going into the year 1619, all the way to 1969, that was the count of the 3 days and a half, which is a prophetic meaning of 350 years that our people, all of us, will have to go through slavery. But the Lord had an end of that, which is at the mark of the 350 year, when the prophet Elijah was reincarnated as Elder Albert Bivens, that founded One West, along with Keem Ashar, Elder Yaquab, High Priest Ariyah, and High Priest Shar, and on down, all the way down to our apostle and elders, starting with Apostle Hard and Apostle Kabar, Apostle Makar, and Apostle Ramlab. And then you got the bishops of Connecticut. They was all there at that time. And then the truth grew, which that's prophecy too, Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. When the gospel of the kingdom should be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, throughout the ends of the earth, which is the north, south, east, and west, throughout these continents, especially over here in America. Then should the end come. Because that gospel being preached is the breath of life that the Lord blew in the hopeful elect that will receive the seal, which is His doctrine. And they will sing the song of the Lord, Revelation chapter 14, which is us breaking down these scriptures and knowing these scriptures. Those Jew rats are not the people of the Lord. Because if they were, then the Lord will be back. Because if Israel is in the land right now, the Lord will be dwelling with them. But He's not. It's war over there. The Lord said when He comes back on the scene, it will be no more war. So you Christians, you got a lot of explaining to do. This is John chapter 3, verse 16. For Yahweh so loved the world of what? Israel. Isaiah 45, verse 18 goes to that. World without end. That's talking about Israel. No other nation. And Isaiah chapter 45, 17 talks about that. Salaki talks about Israel shall be saved in the Lord with the everlasting salvation. Should not be ashamed or confounded world without end. Now we in Esau's world. But like I said in 2 chapter 6, verse 9, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning. The beginning of what? Immortality in the earth. Like the Lord intended it. But according to His plan, He wanted it this way. He wanted to purpose this reality this way. But we at the end. So right here it says, but Slaki, for Yahweh so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. So who is the whosoever? That's talking about the whole fleet elect of Israel. Because you got a difference between Israel, those that are of the promise, and those that are of the flesh. You got Israelites of the flesh. Romans chapter 9 goes to that. And Israelites of the flesh is you 2/3 of Israel. You're not going to be saved. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It says, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning do He bringeth His judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. So the Lord is bringing these judgments on the earth. And He's starting with His house first. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. It says the Lord should start at the house of His sanctuary. He should start at His sanctuary, which is Israel. So I'm gonna end it off with this last precept. the book of Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And it reads, "And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe." Verse 12, "The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness." Spiritually, of course, in rioting and drunkenness, and also physical too, and rioting and drunkenness. Because a lot of our people is in this spirit, not in chambering and wantonness, all these parties and stuff. That's where a lot of these deaths go down at. The party gets shot up, or diseases get passed around. People just become enemies from that point. So this is the Lord preserving us to stay out of the ways that this world is operating on, because they operating on demon time. I know that phrase has been dispersed around in a lot of these Jake's mouth, especially these young Jake's mouth. So right here, verse 14, "But put ye on the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and make no provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof." And that's what all of us is doing through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, those that heard the calling. And Lord willing, we continue until the day of the Lord arrives. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.